Welcome to episode 17 of Final Fantasy, and we will begin by entering what I believe most people, myself included, count as the hardest dungeon in the game. I'll decide what you're doing. Sorry about that, I didn't realize I had a preemptive attack and was deciding whether I should just attack one of the birds. It didn't really matter. No, this is a pretty tough dungeon, especially if you've never played the game before. Because it has a bit of a noob trap in it, and I'll explain that when we get there. But we're here for a specific reason. And, I don't remember how you figure out you're supposed to come here at all. But we can't proceed until we complete this dungeon. We could have come here earlier and done it, and that's would have led us to changing our classes, but you know, we're gonna do it now. But this dungeon is home to two very, very memorable enemies, as well as cockatrices, making this dungeon the first to have what I would consider to be the unholy trio of this game. Because you have cockatrices here, and these, you know, these are scary enough as is. And we'll see the other two things eventually. I actually had a pretty lucky run through of this place and was able to get through without too much trouble at all. Except for this fight, because watch as Sid could cast Fire and kill all these dudes in one shot, but lets everybody get an attack before he does so. Oh well, we had some nice shield work up there. Oh, but no, this isn't it. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the first of the two encounters. Anyway, this is the ice dungeon, the ice cave. It's actually a pretty cool looking dungeon. I do like it. It's just, man, of the first run through I had playing this game, this dungeon stands out in my memory as the one that just made me rip my hair out in frustration. And I don't really get to show why. But I do like the dungeon overall. Okay, Mind Flayers. These are some of the guys. Veterans would know these as sorcerers. Now, I ended them pretty easy, but those guys, one can cast Mind Blast, which paralyzes everybody, and is kind of hard to resist. And the other thing they can do is a basic attack that does 1 or 2 damage per hit. They hit you 3 times with that. Well, what's the problem, you might be wondering? Well, the problem is they have a status effect attached to that. KO. Yeah, don't just kill somebody with a touch. It's really, really rough, actually. You know, those guys are nightmares. They're, you know, when I said earlier that the cockatrices were the hardest fight in the game, I kind of forgot about those guys. So, please forgive me for any misinformation I might have spread around. Though cockatrices are still pretty hard. As far as that dungeon goes, I put them on the same level then as I put Mind Flayers now. They're about equal in strength, comparatively. Like, cockatrices are not as hard, but, well, this chest is guarded by Dark Wizards, the other really hard encounter. The one that sticks out the most in my mind that I remember being the most frustrating. And we get to see why. Oh, I'm preparing for it. And she, unfortunately, does not go before they cast Firaga. Okay, yeah. And imagine had those other two cast it. Uh-huh. But man, that chest is being guarded by them because this is a set encounter tile. Whatever's in there must be really good. And pay attention as the battle ends. There will be like a diamond in between a bunch of cracks. That we'll be getting later because you fall through the cracks to the bottom floor. That's what we're here for. But for now, we're getting these chests. And I might as well heal up now, because if I open the chest, I might forget to do this. Or if I do this, I might forget the chest, but I'm keeping this in mind. I don't want to fight that encounter again. And besides, as I said, something guarded by that encounter must be really good.
And now, the blackest present for the most brutal of all bass players. Nothing.
Yep. You were trolled by the game developers again. I'll grant you that clothes are a little better than nothing, but I think nothing has more value as a novelty item. Oh well. And I hope you enjoyed the Mind Flayers and the Dark Wizards, because my punk ass didn't even run into another group of either of them. Oh no, so don't let this playthrough be in any way representative of the ease at which you can go through this place, because, well, you saw the damage output on that Firaga spell. And yeah, they can and will have, like, the entire enemy party cast that at the same time, which is effectively a death sentence. Oh, there are also ice dragons in here. They're not very memorable. And what a sad sentence that is. If they can cast Ice Storming, that's a pretty awesome ability. But again, you saw the Dark Wizard cast Firaga, and you can compare the numbers yourself. And the Dark Wizards were able to take more punishment. They had a higher defense. It's boggling. Why even include the dragons at all? Yeah, these ice spikes act like the lava did. So yay, more floor tiles that hurt you. Except they're not very prominent here. Now we're coming up on the noob trap. I'm gonna heal. But on the next floor up, there will be a set of stairs that go up that I'm going to completely ignore. And I'm gonna take some different stairs. The first set of stairs up, which are the easier ones to run into, take you out of the dungeon. Let me repeat that. They take you out of the dungeon. You still have to get that diamond in the middle of the room. And you can't proceed with the game without it, so do not take the stairs that are easier to find. Take the stairs you see me take. Those are the appropriate ones. Or if I remember right, it's not even stairs. There's some stairs you can take that exit the dungeon, and there's a hole in the ground that you fall into. And that's how you get to the item. Actually, I think that's the correct thing. Oh yeah, more Dungeons and Dragons enemies. This is a Remoraz. To this day, I have no idea what they do in Final Fantasy 1. I ran into that guy and had no idea those were a thing that existed. I killed him before he could do anything. I don't know what those do. So, that's neat. If they are from Dungeons and Dragons, I assume that they have something to do with fire. Like they might be able to cast more fire spells. Oh, and here I go casting Firaga on the Pisco Demons, who have proven to me in the past that they resist fire. Kind of forgot that. Well, it's weird, because they didn't seem to resist the fire damage from the warrior's sword, but I don't know. Oh, yeah. And I suppose that's worthy of pointing out. I unequipped an axe for a fire sword. Because fire swords trump axes, because they're swords made out of fire, and that's awesome. The only thing more awesome is an axe made out of fire. But there's nothing like that in this game. And that's an unusual opinion coming from me, because I'm not the type of person who generally likes the fire element from games where that is a thing. Of the Greek elements, fire is my least favorite. It's just a fire sword is really cool. Yeah, I don't show the stairs off. I just go right to where I need to go. Avoid the crack, because there's chests, but that crack is going to lead to the next floor. Now, I may not run into either of the other two creatures, but I do run into more cockatrices. Watch them make things awkward. When I cast heal with Mary Sue, she has nothing else to do. She could cast Dia, but I don't think that's going to be capable of killing the mummies. And if it would have been powerful enough, it might have been something that screwed me over a little bit. You'll see what I mean. As soon as I decide what to do. Yeah, so he gets petrified. And I was like, oh no, I had such a great run through up to this point. I had all the experience even. What am I gonna do? Then I thought about it and I'm like, why not just heal it with one of the damage dealers, you ding-dong? Attack with the white mage because she can't kill it. And it totally mattered too, because Conan attacked before her, so crisis averted. As I mentioned before, I like symmetry, and I prefer their levels to be even, and dead party members don't gain experience points, so had I not cured that before the end of the fight, he would have been he would have been behind everybody, and that would have driven me insane. And here we have an evil eye. Don't know the point of him. To this day, I don't think I've ever seen them do anything. I always kill them before they have the chance. It's just a meaningless encounter.
Darn! We're not gonna make it! Let's speed up!
And with that, we're out of the dungeon, so I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.